desert was silent, not the silence of peace, but the silence before a storm. The people of Makkah stood on the rooftops of their mud brick homes, eyes fixed on the horizon. Dust clouds were rising in the distance, but this was no ordinary caravan. Camels, horses, and an animal the Arabs had never seen before. A giant beast with enormous ears and a long trunk swinging like the arm of a monster. It was the year 570, the year of the elephant, and leading this monstrous army was a man whose heart was filled with arrogance. His name was Abraha. Abraha was no ordinary commander. He was the ruler of Yemen, a man who had built a massive church in Sana'a, a church he believed would rival the Kaaba itself, a church he wanted the entire Arabian Peninsula to worship at. But there was a problem. The Arabs still loved the Kaaba. They traveled for days, for weeks, just to come to Makkah, to walk around it, to pray near it, to feel its sanctity. And Abraha could not accept that. One night, the silence of his grand church was broken. Someone, we don't know who, entered and defiled it. It was said they burned part of it. Others say they soiled it with filth. Whatever it was, it ignited a rage inside Abraha. This Kaaba will be no more. Those were his words. So he gathered an army unlike anything Arabia had ever seen. Soldiers in shining armor, rows upon rows of spears glinting in the sun, and towering above them, an elephant, not one, but many, with the largest of them named Mahmud. The plan was simple: march into Makkah, tear down the Kaaba stone by stone, and drag its remains back to Yemen. As the army marched, villages emptied in fear. Children clung to their mothers. The elders whispered, "Allah will protect his house." But as the army drew closer, the people of Makkah began to feel the earth tremble under the weight of the elephant's steps. The air was heavy, almost as if the sky itself was waiting to send down a judgment. And little did Abraha know, he was walking straight into the most humiliating defeat of his life. Abraha's dream was simple: break the Arabs' connection to the Kaaba and make Al-Khulays the new center of worship. But the Arabs didn't care. They ignored it. Year after year, they continued to flock to Makkah, to the Kaaba, to the house of Allah. Every caravan that passed through Yemen carried news back to Abraha. The people still go to the Kaaba. The tribes still honor it. The pilgrims still come. His pride burned. It wasn't enough to build something grand. He had to destroy what they loved. Abraha was confident. He believed his power was unstoppable. He believed no one could stand in his way. And worst of all, he believed the Kaaba was just another building. But what Abraha did not understand was that he wasn't marching toward a stone structure. He was marching toward the house of Allah, the one place on earth under his direct protection. And those who challenge Allah's protection are destroyed in ways they cannot imagine. At the very front, Mahmud, the great elephant, swayed with every step. His shadow stretched long over the sand. The chains around his neck clinked with a steady rhythm, and every now and then, a deep, rumbling trumpet burst from his trunk, echoing across the empty plains. The Arabs had never seen anything like it. They had heard of elephants from travelers who spoke of distant lands, but to see one, towering, armored, with eyes that glinted like black stones, was another matter entirely. Behind Mahmud came rows upon rows of soldiers, shields in one hand, spears in the other. Their armor shimmered in the sun, and when the wind shifted, you could hear the creak of leather straps, clatter of weapons, and the crunch of thousands of feet crushing the sand beneath them. They passed through villages, and with each one, the same scene repeated. A shepherd would spot the dust cloud first. His heart would sink. He'd run back to his tribe, shouting warnings. Men would scramble to gather their families. Women would clutch their children to their chests. Fires were put out. Doors were shut. And the village would fall into silence. Abraha had planned his march carefully. He sent messengers ahead to demand submission. Any tribe that resisted was crushed, their homes burned, their men killed, their livestock taken. And so, one by one, the tribes chose to step aside. Better to live in humiliation than die in defiance, they thought. But whispers began to travel faster than the army itself. They are going to destroy the Kaaba. They are going to tear down the house of Allah. They have elephants from Africa. By the time they reached the edges of the Hijaz, the Quraysh in Makkah already knew the army was coming. The elders gathered in secret meetings. Some said they should fight. Others said it was useless. How could spears and arrows stand against a beast like Mahmud? One man spoke first. "We must fight. This is the house of Allah. We cannot let them destroy it." Another shook his head. "You saw their numbers, their weapons, their elephants. We would be slaughtered." The room fell into silence. All eyes turned to Abdul Muttalib. He rose slowly. His voice was calm. "People of Quraysh, this house has a Lord, and he will protect it. If Abraha wishes to destroy it, then let him face the power of Allah." There was no arrogance in his tone, only certainty. The certainty of a man who knew that human strength was nothing before the will of Allah. It was decided. The Quraysh would not fight. They would leave Makkah. They would take their families and seek the safety of the surrounding hill. Before leaving, Abdul Muttalib walked to the Kaaba. He held the great ring of its door, pressed his forehead against it, and prayed, "O Allah, a man defends his house. You are the Lord of this house. Defend it from those who seek to destroy it." Then he turned and walked away, leaving the Kaaba in the care of its true guardian. By nightfall, Makkah was almost empty. The streets lay silent. The Kaaba stood alone under the stars, and far away, the torches of Abraha's army glowed like fireflies in the dark. They were coming. Abdul Muttalib took them and left without another word. He returned to Makkah, gathered his people, and they left for the surrounding hills. From there, they would watch events unfold. Abraha, on the other hand, prepared for the morning when he believed he would destroy the Kaaba.